Good morning, afternoon, or evening. This will be an informative speech by Jake Anderson Little, of course, student at Harris-Stowe State University for the Intro to Public Speaking course. Long-term thinking is absolutely essential both for an individual's personal financial goals as well as for a society at large in managing problems that affect everybody. In today's topic, we're going to talk about the environment. It's well known that as environmental challenges increase, that's often because of economic activity and population growth and the increased resource usage that entails. Because of these challenges, I find many young people are very scared to invest. They don't prioritize retirement accounts. They will make remarks about how 30 years the world will be ended and things like that, causing them to sit on the sidelines and not only face the risk of outliving savings and things like that, but also missing a key opportunity to build potentially fantastic wealth. And that's what we're going to talk about today because I see a really great opportunity despite a lot of the very real challenges that we see in the air and that in the water and things like that. The world population right now is sitting at around 7 billion. Okay, that one's growing in a lot of areas, and the middle class is growing like crazy in a ton of different countries, right? And a lot of the energy use is biomass. A lot of people are not having digitized communications. So there's going to have to be a large ramp up of growth generally. Yes, there's property damage from storms and things like that. But as far as just gross growth, there's going to be a ton of it in this century, and that's just a fact. So between the high scale and the applicability of green concepts, let's talk about that. So you could be talking about things like welding gas that uses less water, or converters for electronics that are more efficient or use fewer precious rare earth metals. There could be roofing materials that don't have to get replaced as often because those things are made out of rubber and they aren't exactly clean to manufacture a lot of the times. And so the broad applicability of the concept makes it such that just a general eye towards sustainability is a great guiding principle toward any sector that you happen to be involved in. It's actually very easy to research. Start hitting the Google. Okay, NextEra Energy became the largest market cap energy company, passing up ExxonMobil. So it's not underground information to find info on these opportunities to invest in. The last point on this topic is they're going to be around till you retire. Okay, so we hear news about, oh, they're regulating cigarettes. They're retiring coal plants. Who knows if people are going to be doing things in person or if this shopping outlet's going to be around. But I'll tell you what, the concept of energy production, energy transmission, and energy use, those aren't going anywhere. They're just, or at least for next few decades, those are just inherent to the human condition in a way that a lot of other things aren't, especially when we're taking a green approach to those things. So it's when we say sustainable, it's not just for the planet, it's the business itself is on a sustainable path for the time frame that anybody who's old enough to be comprehending this, that'll take you to retirement. I'm not a certified planner or anything, but that I can tell you, it's as good of a bet as any because you got to put the money somewhere. The trend is toward greening is very powerful and it's very wide ranging. So you're looking at the Paris Accord, tons of countries signing on, all kinds of different governments, non-governmental organizations making statements about it. You're seeing businesses have environmental goals and things like that. So it's very wide ranging and very powerful in the sense that there's a large mobilization economically, and keep in mind that that's with a U.S. president that's not the friendliest toward these type of initiatives. So I think we could be on the cusp of something depending on what happens next few years there. The idea that it's such a necessary product. I've made a video in the past during a power outage. All of a sudden, batteries and candles, even your car battery, those become like the most important thing. Your food's going rotten in the refrigerator and things like that. People would do anything, just all of a sudden, it's the only thing people can talk about. And so it's not going anywhere as far as being a very necessary product. And when your whole doubt was, oh, climate change makes me feel uncertain, well, at least we can be very certain about the demand side of things. So it's a very powerful trend. The physics, they're in your corner. So people are only going to tolerate so much when it comes to earthquakes from fracking, oil spills, smog, temperature increases. The weather's getting crazy. The sea level rise, the ocean acidification, it's not people's favorite thing. And the just physical hazards to a lot of the older technology and some of the fossil fuels. Of course, there are benefits to using these products, major drawbacks as well. And so if you look at, windmills are killing birds, but that's maybe not quite as bad as earthquakes from fracking. Plus cost parity. So there are places in the American West where right now it is on a per kilowatt hour basis cheaper to build solar infrastructure than some of the more heavy machinery based flammable explosive kind of stuff, fossil fuels. So from as far as just the laws of physics, it's a very kind of necessary shift, and it's definitely something that cost wise is looking a lot better, and that's always been one of the main drawbacks. Last thing I'll say, folks will wonder if government will take strong enough action. Insurance companies, banks are not lending to these folks as much. Insurance Journal actually recently had an article about an investment group that 5 trillion of assets, they wanted to see a decrease in 29% of the carbon emissions. And so it's not necessarily just dependent on whatever happens with the law. All of the profits aren't necessarily coming from just an electric vehicle tax credit and things like that. It's just where the ship is moving. So I encourage everybody to, at least dip your toes in the water. It's something I've been doing for about a year now, and I hope to continue with and have great success because I think it's the opportunity of the century. You talk to someone that did coal in the 1800s or railroads in the 1800s, and then the internet and cell phones and things like that. You'd say, man, you were such a genius for jumping in early on that. Imagine yourself in 20 years, someone saying, man, you were smart, that renewable thing. What a slam dunk, what a home run. I like your idea. So thank you for watching. Look forward to seeing what you can make happen with the information discussed today.